Jedi Survivor came out in April 2023. It's the second game to the sequel of Fallen Order, which I enjoyed very much. It was a great Star Wars game with big set pieces and interesting characters. When I saw this guy absolutely blast away the ceiling in the movies and Luke turning into a master who has to battle his intrusive thoughts about child murder, I thought to myself, what the fuck? Well, in Jedi Survivor, the stormtroopers have finally got their training and shoot directly at your noggin, and the melee ones will destroy you if you give them a chance. And even though they're taking some new chances with the story, it feels nice and organic.
That's right.
Get it, Kyle! Star Wars locations have always been really iconic, like the droid factory of Geonosis, the forest of Kashyyyk, Naboo and its underwater land, or the icy terrain of Hoth, the planet of Coruscant, the home of the Senate, and the Jedi Temple. And if I didn't mention your favorite planet, that is my point. There's too many of them. Well, in Jedi Survivor, you got the Forest of Koboh, which you'll be spending half of the game in. You got the Deserts of Jedha, your standard Imperial bases, and some Jedi temples to explore as well. It's kind of nice. There are some other locations, but I'd rather not show everything in this video. But the movement, I want to talk about the movement. The movement is so good. You have a grappling hook, you can wall run, you can dash in the air, you can ride a chicken, you can ride ET, you can pet a bogling, you can ride a bird, you can fly around the air. It's just so fucking fluid. And of course, BD1 is always there when you need him. I remember sitting in the cinema and watching Rey and Kylo transfer a lightsaber around like it was Bitcoin and thinking, what? Well, in Jedi Survivor, Cal Kestis is no joke either. It's been 5 years since the first game and he's gotten pretty adept at using the Force. We can push big monsters off ledges. We can even take control of even the Purge Troopers. Cal can even slam multiple opponents down to the ground. I mean, he's strong. So do you like lightsabers and lightsaber battles? Well, me too. I love a good lightsaber battle. And who can forget, Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan was one of the best battles I've ever seen.
When we did that fight, they had to overcrank the camera to slightly slow it down because we were so fast. That's true.
Well, I'm sorry to say the choreography in the new movies are pretty much a joke. You can watch hundreds of videos online criticizing it, and the fighting in movies are kind of left to just these hero poses that the actors do without actually learning the choreography. It's kind of sad that the kid inside me haven't got to experience a real lightsaber battle in so long. On Jedi Survivor, the developers did not disappoint. You can go with the single style lightsaber just like Obi-Wan. Or channel your inner Darth Maul with a saber staff. Oh, you like the Ashoka Tano or Saj Ventress? We got you too with dual sabers. Oh, you think Kylo Ren's saber was quite cool from the movies? We got you too with a badass great sword moveset. What the fuck is this?
Uncivilized.
That's right, guns? 1 out of 10 game. Fucking don't buy. You know, Star Wars isn't known for its great dialogue, because you have stuff like this.
If you're suffering as much as I am, please tell me.
But also, you have stuff like this, which is great.
Chancellor.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
The Senate will decide your fate.
I am the Senate.
It's a multi-generational family drama of the Skywalkers that ends up with galaxy being saved and the whole world rejoicing. And I think that's what George Lucas did best. His story was always very clear, all while introducing these planets and all these characters. And the sequels were like, oh, the galaxy's saved? Space Nazis. Luke, Mr. Compassionate? Child murderer. Oh, Han Solo? Warrior hero? He's dead. So after sitting in the original works by George Lucas, let's see what they actually had planned for these movies.
At the beginning, there was toying with like an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went, there were like different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. Then it came to episode 9 and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing. So then even I was filming and I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be.
So in this era of creating content just for the sake of creating content like a cash grab, Jedi Survivor comes as a beacon of light in the darkness, with a real story to tell. In the last game, we meet Cal Kestis, a Jedi in hiding from the Order. We join up with this droid called BD1, hunting for a list of Force-sensitive users. We find other friends who help us continue to grow as a Jedi.
Rise, Jedi Knight.
Remember, trust only in the Force.
And trust in the Force we did. The game ends with Cal finding the list and destroying it, knowing that he could not protect those children. The second game is no different. Cal and his buddies have been running and fighting the Empire, and we know for a fact Cal and his friends aren't the ones who will change the tide of this conflict. And that's for the Skywalkers. Plus, these characters can't hold a candle to the main canon. All we can do was run when Vader shows up in the last game. So how do we create interest? Well, Cal discovers the location of a mysterious planet hidden away from the Empire. A chance to have a home and not be on the run. A chance to be at peace after being on the run and hiding his whole life. It's a pretty good hook. And it's told beautifully, with amazing locations and even more interesting characters to fill those locations up.
Keep you company.
And some of the moments are gonna hit you right in the nostalgia meow meow. Like your protagonist finding information on a broken droid, or your master teaching you to use the Force like an aimbot. The bad guys are really scary, and your side characters are total badasses, and even the dialogue is good. Check this out.
All those years of incarceration dull your edge.
Sharp enough to see the Jedi might be your equal.
Say it again and I'll cut out your tongue.
It'll grow back.
And even though Cal Kestis now is a badass who can cut down endless hordes of enemies, but he still be on your toes because there are enemies behind every corner like it's Star Trek. There's big robot with big weapon, there's big man with big weapon. Even the wildlife have a crazy moveset that are really hard to follow. You have Bigfoot brothers, you have the Angry Birds, and if you're really into that, you can fight all three of them at the same time, because why not? At the later stages of the game, Cal will not even have to look to use the Force, because you'll be so adept at using it. And all the enemies you feared before will be fearing you, because you'll just be such a badass. And just learning the moveset of everybody is very rewarding, honestly. And if ever it gets too difficult, I'm gonna give you the ultimate cheat of this game. Go to the menu, go to the visuals, and change it to performance mode. It'll give you 60 FPS. It's like using the Force guide. And if you want, and it's totally optional, there are plenty of puzzles in Jedi Survivor that you can go to solve and get those sweet cosmetics. And with Star Wars Acolyte turning its dislike button on today, and they're making a new Star Wars game without lightsabers, so I'm not really sure about the future of Star Wars. And if you're feeling the same, give this game a try. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. I can't wait for the next one, if there's going to be a next one.
Hope survives.